Hello, everyone. I'm Zelda Kelly with Seeing Crime, and it is episode 44. Today, we're going to be talking about a gentleman that, well, not too many people are really talking about now, but I think that he warrants a little bit more of a deep dive. On day 29 of the Commonwealth versus Karen Reed, the defense called a gentleman by the name of Brian Lucky Loughran, the hero of testimonies in my experience in this genre. I think he was so spot on. I loved him, and so many people just love him because he is just that genuine. Now, he's no stranger to the Alberts. He's worked with them. He's known them for years. He's known the McDalberts family, but did that deter him from getting up and telling the truth? No. Did Lolly try to throw him off and make him, well, backwalk on his testimony about the difference between a Ford Edge and a Jeep Cherokee by the taillights? Lucky shone like a beacon. He came off with flying colors. But there's something else about Lucky. I think Lucky is a very wonderful man. He loves family, he loves friends, he loves his town of Canton. He's been a resident there, well, I think all of his life. But there's something that he knows. And he knows, deep down, in my honest opinion, just by looking at him, he knows what those McAlberts are all about. So without further ado, it's time for me to say this is just entertainment only. I'm not here to sway you or persuade you. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not medical. I'm not an expert, but I am an expert in the cards. Today I want to talk about Lucky Loughran and what my meditation and what a theory, and I want you all to let me know what you think this theory is all about. We have a lot of cards here because I think we're going to be really deep diving, so get a snack, get a drink, and get ready, because here we go. I'm going to lay the foundation today with the House of Zelda card and the Kipper deck, this particular Kipper deck. And if we need to pull out the other Kipper deck, we'll do that. But right now, I think we've got enough cards on the table. We have the Mythic Tarot deck over here, this beautiful purple shrouded deck. We have the Piotnik deck, which is 36 cards in 6 different languages. And in the Hand of Fate, we have my buddy, and I've been using him a lot lately because he's been well rested. The Cartomancy deck, it's a fire element, and you can tell that it's fiery for the truth. And we're going to get started. Here we are. I know all of you remember Lucky. How could we forget him? This adorable man that probably his favorite meal in Canton is fried bologna sandwiches. And you know what, Lucky, if you're looking at this, I like that too. And with mayonnaise and with mustard. I know, yuck. Maybe you'll put a little onion on it. All right, here we are. And while I'm shuffling, please do me a favor and subscribe. I'll wait a second. Go on, hit that button, click that thumbs up little icon, because you know what? It helps me. Oh, you did it. Well, thank you so much. All right, here we are. Kipper deck. Now, angels, guides, spirits. When I lay out this foundation, I'm going to give you my theory, and it's based on a little bit of the last video that I did. I will hook it on here somewhere so you can watch it if you haven't already, about a blizzard of information that is coming. Here we are, starting out with our first Kipper card. Don't you love this? I do. Let's go, Zelda. A journey. Yes, this has just really been a journey into the unknown, hasn't it? I mean, it feels, oops, and that one was upside down, and we are going to turn it right side because we don't read the kipper in reverse. That's my fault. I wasn't paying attention. Toil and labor. Amazing what these cards lay out, isn't it? Courtship. Doesn't surprise me. I don't think it surprises you either. Here we are. Another reverse card, but it's okay. And the marriage card. Marriage and lovers and courtship. Amazing. And a gift. We did get a gift, didn't we? Privileged lady, and that is Karen. Putting these to the side. Now, what are all these meaning? Well, first of all, I have to say that it looks a little jumbled. And when we really start getting into this, you're going to see how all of these start to really fit into place. This journey, this is a journey of this court. This is a journey that is taking a lot longer than what we ever thought would ever take. That's what it's telling us. But it's also the journey of lucky. Now, we have the Lover's card here. I believe that is an indication for John O'Keefe, Officer John O'Keefe. He still is an officer in my book. He's a fallen officer. And I believe that that's Karen and John right there. This toil and labor. This has been something that has been extremely hard to get through. Working through this, the return has not been so good yet. Basically, doing the most you can for the littlest that you can get out of it. That's what it seems for Karen right now and for many associated with this. But here is the courtship and the marriage. And I'm coming into how lucky plays into this. There was a commitment by this family. Oh my goodness, and look at this. I know you all are seeing this because you are my Zeldanators. You are my Tarot Crime Lab investigators. I know you. 34. Well, that fit in there, didn't it? There was a commitment. For whatever reason, and you know, sometimes people don't need reasons to commit crimes. I just want you to know that. Think about that. Then we have a gift. Well, this gift just keeps on giving. It's the gift of knowledge. It's going to be another gift, I believe, by Josh Levy. It's going to be another gift of finding out more evidence that will be coming out. And I'm going to tell you, if Karen Reed goes to January for a trial or goes to trial in January, I'll get it there, I will be extremely surprised. However, I'm here for it because I want you to know that defense team is gearing up. The CW is just falling apart. Look at all of this. Nicholas Garino, I think I said his name right. We've got Trooper Proctor, Trooper Paul, the crime scene whisperer. We've got all of these ding-dongs. Can I say that? We've got all these ding-dongs that the CW expected us to believe as witnesses and believe that they had more knowledge than Crash Daddy, than the Crash Daddies. Okay. So there we are. So I'm going to lay out another row of this tarot. Then I'm going to talk to you about what I'm feeling for Lucky. Our man, Lucky. Attaboy, Lucky. There we go. First card out, and look at this. Look at this. Oh my. It's the tongue wagging. This is the CW coming at Lolly and trying to make him flub up on the stand. Well, guess what? Lolly fooled him, didn't he? This is the Nine of Swords. I think Lolly was a little bit concerned about his testimony. But it's those voices in the night. Do you see that? The voices in the night that can mess with you. That's what Lolly was trying to compel and impose. Now, I want you to think about those words. Compel, impose, because that's what CW has. They want to compel someone into saying something that they didn't, and they want to impose their theory on someone that knows better. That is the CW right now. Let's go. Three of Wands. King of Pentacles. And Ten of Wands. I'm going to lay these to the side. Okay, so here's the theory that I'm talking about, my friends. I'm going to move these up just a little bit better in the frame, so we're preparing to pull out some additional cards. Here's my theory. So, Lucky testified. I believe that he testified that he did his first plowing pass at 2:45 and then came back at approximately 3:30 a.m. in the morning. Now, when was that text or that Google search of Jen Haas long to die in the cold? Was it 2:27? There's a little 15-minute window there. Now, when I said in the last video that there was a common denominator, and it could be very minor, but it has a lot to do with things, was the weather. And again, you don't need an excuse to commit a crime. If you just get in the mindset one day, there's no rhyme and reason in crime. There's no good reason to commit a crime. You just decide you want to do it. Well, what did they have? They had a blizzard snowstorm coming up, and everybody wanted to get together and do what? Go drinking. And we see at the waterfall all this posturing going on between Higgy and Uncle Brian, and this little push and pull and peacocking and blah, blah. And we see John O'Keefe in the background watching. Then we understand that Jen tells Karen, you're going to ride with me. We're going to go somewhere. Karen basically says, where are we going to go? I don't know. It'll be a surprise. Now, I'm paraphrasing. I don't know about you, but if I heard that from somebody, I would say, nah, no thanks. I want to be behind my own wheel. So that threw them off. But let's entertain this theory, because John wasn't the only one that was going to be that target that night. It was also Karen. But when Karen didn't come in, Matt, I believe, McCabe, and Jen became the lookouts. Because when John went into the house, and there were a couple of slips from some of the testimony that basically said, yeah, that he had gone into the house. And Nicholas Guarino basically said that it showed John going up and down steps, and he thought it was because there was a hilly... What? What? Sir? What? Anyway, he's the one that edges me the most in this. I want you to know, if you haven't been able to... Hickey Baby, Brian, all of these, but Nicholas Guarino, he is intentionally holding back evidence and overlooking it. How do we know? Well, Sandra Birchmore, back to the reading here. So, let's just play what if, but I think we're on a track here. What if the target was for both of them? I believe that they felt that John knew more than what he really did. Maybe he did know more, but he wasn't going to say anything. He knew how they were. And what could he say? He couldn't say, no, I'm not going to come over there, whatever, because he also knew how they were when it came to that sort of thing. He went over there innocently. Karen decided to stay back because, well, I know she didn't really feel that she was invited. And when she sat out in the car, trying to watch for when John went in the house, well, they immediately went in, he went down the steps, and boom, it started happening. And they all knew it, and they were watching to see if she left. So here's where Lucky comes in. They did not know what to do with John. I don't believe they didn't get that far in their plan, because I really don't think that they really felt that they were going to take him out. I think they felt that they were just going to rough him up a little bit. I really believe that. And you know how drinking and posturing and 3 or 4 people getting involved, and then there's a dog and all of this muck, mire, and mayhem and everything going on and everything happening at once, and then boom, down falls John. And he's gone. But not instantly. He's knocked out. They don't know what to do. But they look at the watches. It's been snowing. They know that Lucky is going to be coming around with the plow. What do? Where is Karen? Jen says, well, maybe if we put him outside. What if we wait for Lucky to take the plow and pass, and then we put him outside after? What if? How long does it take to die in the snow? Because if he remains alive, cover blown. And then, of course, all the phone calls to John's phone, because as they do in Dumb Crook News, they put the phone underneath him. And then when Lucky went through, because Lucky, remember, he hit a basketball hoop that night and reported it, but we don't know what time, so that delayed him. So he made another pass and he didn't know what to do, and these people didn't know what to do, and then they most likely put him out in the lawn, in my opinion now. All of this is my opinion. But that's where Lucky came in. This, I believe, with all of this, because, you know, when you premeditate something, it doesn't mean that you thought about it 15 minutes before you left the house. It means that you plan. You look at the weather report. You know the schedule of when Lucky is coming around with the Franken-monster, the Franken-truck. And you know all these things. You make sure you calculate it. You know, you plan, you calculate. There was a party for a birthday party, so nobody would hear what was going on in the basement because they had the music up loud and all of this other. And yet, and I'm going to tell you, I am not convinced that the neighbors didn't see or hear what was happening, because everyone sees. There's so many cameras, but the one person that does see is God. And I can tell you this case is divinely being worked on so that people like Josh Levy can be divinely directed to what's going on. So that's why I want to talk and to read for our friend Lucky, the one who was so, he just was wonderful, wasn't he? All right, that's a theory that I've been really coming over. They wanted to pin this on Lucky. I know most of you said that you feel the same, and then that backfired on him. And I think that one of the reasons that Jen took Karen around to see this or that, or, you know, another route or wherever, is because she wanted to make sure that John was in place. Three of Wands. You see this person here. This is a fire element. You see him here. He is saying, okay, where am I going to go? What's the best thing to do? Look at this. You see, look. One sandal on and one sandal off. You know what that means? That means that this was not thought out correctly. And now it's come to the time where this person is saying, what do we do? Where do we go? What pathway do I choose? Oops, excuse me. There's been so many pathways that we can really choose. And this guy's trying to give this guy advice, but how can he? Because this guy is just, well, he's a shoe booty, right? He just, how can he give somebody good advice when he doesn't know what's going on himself? So we have Lolly, who's trying to compel and impose a certain testimony from Lucky, and it didn't work. So we're trying to guide Lucky down a different path. That didn't work. We have the King of Pentacles, which turns out to be a very healing card, but it's very earthy. And I want you to also know that this particular card means that someone is ready to stand up and put things into place immediately. That's defense. This is the energy of the defense. But look, this is the energy of the Commonwealth. They have bottled themselves, they've walled themselves into a mess now that they can't get out of. This is what happens when you lie upon lie upon lie upon lie. You get to the point where you don't know which lie you told. And so now you're just there. And this is fire elements. And look, their ship has run aground. Why? Well, first of all, your prize witnesses are just ding-dongs, doofuses. And now look. Let's lay out some more cards. So that's my idea. So Karen Reed's, this whole thing with Karen Reed, it was an afterthought. How do we know it was an afterthought? Because it didn't work. She didn't come into the home. It didn't work because of the outcome with John. They didn't mean, I don't believe they did. I think it just got out of hand and it went crazy. I think they meant to beat him up. I don't think that it just went crazy. Now, I could be wrong, in my opinion. Lucky didn't work out. They tried to they tried intimidation. They knew about him, but thank God he hit that. Think about this. Thank God he hit that basketball hoop. That kept him from getting even more involved. He saw a Ford Edge. Who does that belong to? They had that parked right along the edge of the road at that point because they knew. They missed that window of opportunity. And how do we know they set up Karen? That was the last thing that they could have done. They watched her pull off and they thought, well, she's the only one we could nail this on. And that's why they came back the next day or even the day after and planted the 45 pieces of taillight evidence in the lawn. Meanwhile, Uncle Brian is supposedly fast asleep while everything is happening in the front lawn of his home, being a Boston cop or a Canton cop. Hello. Right? Here we are. We're going to try these cards. And the judge is a problem too. The judge is a problem as well. We see that. You see how all this is falling together? Officer, oh my gosh. Officer John. I'm so glad you all are here because you know what? If I were by myself, I would say nobody would believe this if I told them. We've got a house and we have 34 here. Oh my heck. Oh my goodness. You see how this goes. And we have the lover. Now who would the lover be? I think that's Uncle Brian. Because that's what he likes to think he is. I'm going to take out 2 more of these. The marriage. Oh my heck. Look at this. They are committed. Look. Look. Oh my goodness. I know you're seeing it. What am I saying? Look, look. You're seeing it. Zelda. I'm just get so excited because this is confirmation. It's not manipulation like the CW. Compelling and imposing. And I want you to know something about compelling and imposing. It can be evil. And you are not going to convince me, no one will convince me that Jen maybe hasn't dabbled a bit. I can see it. Look at this. Anger. Right beside the house, right beside... Okay. All right. We've got that. Hello. How can we... All right. We're going to put out just 2 or 3, right, Zelda? 2 or 3 of these cards. It's the House of Zelda. A plan. That's exactly what Lucky was a part of the initial plan. In my opinion now. And travel. Look at this. Journey. My friends, I'm so glad you're here. I got to tell you, traveling means all of this ground that they're trying to cover. Do you understand what I mean? They're just trying to cover up. And you know what? Help from the cosmic unknown. Oh, that's coming. Just like I said, this is a case that is divinely looked after. Last but not least is our friend, the cartomancy. The cartomancy deck. 6 of spades. We may get a little something. We may get a little something on this. Now you're going to see that I read, and I write on these cards. These are old. These are my buddies. They've been around me for a while. And I've got to tell you that this is a fire element deck. And by the way, I've tried to find a water element because I am a water sign. I can't find it. And every time I find it and I click on the add to cart, oh, it's not available. I will find it. But for right now, I love these fiery messages that we get. But this is an old deck, and many times what I'll do is I'll write some keywords on the meanings so it maintains the reading integrity. Because the older it gets, sometimes it's difficult, even though we get good readings. So we do that, and that's why I let my cards rest, by the way. 8 of spades. I'll tell you about that in a minute. That is Officer John. That is Higgy. My friends, I can't make this stuff up. Bottom line is, I really think that this plan was derived out of sheer boredom. Because people like that, in my opinion, constantly needs drama and upset. And when drama and upset is over, then they have to create more. The one thing that the McAlberts do, and especially Uncle Brian, in my opinion, is create situations and circumstances in which they would either be needed or their counsel would be needed. How do you think that people can raise in a community to that magnitude only they're not doing it the right way. They're trying to be a little on the thuggish side, in my opinion. But this was boredom. And I'm going to question the emotional stability of these people, in my opinion, allegedly, supposedly, entertainment only. You know how that goes. They wanted to isolate, look at this, they wanted to isolate Higgy and John. You see how that is? And the one thing about cartomancy, you can do this with tarot, but I especially do it with cartomancy, is you can read this way, you read this way, this way, this way, and it all tells a story. If you take the time and let the cards read to you, you can read the cards. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. This is the Ten of Hearts, which tells us that there was a plan. And finally, the plan came together. However, Karen threw a wrench in the gear that hurt their plan. And this was all based on past hurts affecting the present. What were the past hurts? Well, I really do believe that Jen conspired to tell John about Higgy and Karen. Because, see, here's the other things, my darling, I want you to understand. An enemy's enemy is an enemy friend. They pulled Higgy in because they were going to set Higgy up to take the heat off of them. You get it? Higgy and Brian, Uncle Brian will be throwing Higgy under the bus, or you can say under the plow. Because you see there's a family connection. And they don't do that with family, so they took a non-family member. There was progress, but they understood very quickly that they needed a new plan. And Higgy was right there, and it was an indecisive plan, and they didn't know what to do, and that's what happened. So, my friends, the conclusion of this reading is, I truly believe poverty. They ran out of ideas. They were left lacking. And that's how they came to Karen. In conclusion, my darlings, Lucky was the target. And you see this Queen of Swords, all of this chatter, rhetoric, she did it, blah, blah, blah. All of that is it's just like water being poured in the sand. It will dissipate and go away. And there will be unexpected joy. Oh, yeah. Josh Levy, he's going to make another appearance. And I can bet you he's going to make it before the holidays come. I will tell you. And then our last card from no other than House of Zelda. And that is, it's time to rest. That's right. It's just time to take a rest. Because we're now letting the feds do their job. We're now letting things coming into position. We're now letting it all start to happen. And look. That actually is Colin. He's not off the hook. They're all on the hook. I hope I haven't confused you, but I wanted to play this out and tell you how important this and premeditation can be in dealing with a situation like this. I want to clear this out. Just give me a second. Because this particular row that we had here was just so amazing. There it is. Because there was a plan, a committed plan. And you can't tell me that this person is not aware of it. Hello. For Officer John, the anger that that might be Higgy. The lover boy? Yeah, that may be Higgy. I may be wrong. If I said that was Josh, this may be Higgy. So excuse me for that. But the anger, the committed, making sure that they were okay with the CW, making sure that everything is happening the way that they laid it out. And I'm going to tell you, this is why Lolly can't back up, because he knows if he starts backing up, what does that do? That starts raising questions. And if he plows on, no pun intended, Lucky, if he plows on the way that he's been doing, at least he's putting on a good show. Do you see the laughable rhetoric this is? But thank God that Lucky was pulled back by hitting. I really believe, and I know that many times an obstacle can happen in a situation like this that can keep you from, and it kept Lucky, because they would have nailed Lucky. That was, I believe, their plan. And then it was, well, we couldn't with Lucky. Too late. We got to do something else. And they were thinking quickly on their feet. But as far as I'm concerned, I have more faith in Lucky these days than I do the sun coming up. His testimony was the most purest, righteous, truest. And there's good old Lolly, who decides he wants to try to throw him off. Well, it didn't work. It didn't work. Keep watchful, my friends. Keep watchful. And thank you so much for hanging here with me. I know it's been a long one, but hey, we're here for it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and please subscribe and like. And if you haven't gotten your video reading with me yet, please follow the link in the description. You're going to be very happy, because I go through a reading and I lay out a foundation just like this. Of course, I'm sure it won't be so bad. But I want you to follow the link. I'll be glad to read for you as soon as possible, usually within 48 hours. But thank you, everybody, for watching. I love you all. I appreciate it. Free Karen Read, justice for John. And let's keep praying, because prayers work. And you watch. Those tongues will be silenced very soon. Take care, everyone. See you again soon.